Chapter 317 of My Academia, the fan translations, are now out. And with this chapter being out, questions are now arised. What's going to happen to Deku? And right now, where's Deku going to go? Because you already know I made a video about Deku's mental health and his mental state, which again will be in the top right hand corner. You guys can go watch that. Now let's get into chapter 317, which is Scars, Blood, and Mud. Chapter 317 continues after All For One blew up the mansion, and again, All For One has been scheming. He knows every route that the heroes are going to make, and he knew that these heroes would be at the mansion and Lady Nagant would change her heart. And the chapter illustration, or the chapter cover, which is Deku, we see him and without his mask. Deku looks broken. Deku looks like he cannot continue moving forward, and that plays into his mental state. Now it looks like the heroes came out unscathed, which again, I don't mind, but I don't think the explosion was necessary, but they did lose some info, so at least there was a consequence to that. Now it looks like the heroes are in some warehouse, and Edshot, which again my favorite hero out the bunch, he's saying that you get any info from Lady Nagant, and Hawk says I doubt it because she's still in a coma, and it looks like she is alive, so Lady Nagant fanboys, rejoice, she's alive, and she will not be going anywhere. Edshot then tells Endeavor that we need to take a gamble, and they may have to tell the citizens about One For All, which again, it's looking like that's going to be the case, because every time they get near and near to All For One, it doesn't work, and the citizens are slowly picking up the pieces of what All For One and the villains want. Edshot thinks with this, they would have the full support of other heroes, and they wouldn't have to really be going in a small group, which is, you know, Kamui Woods, Mountain Lady, Edshot, Hawks, and Endeavor, and Best Jeanist, and Deku and All Might. Which, Edshot has a point, but it's also a risk, because if they do this, All Might even said that people will want One For All, even heroes. Heroes would want One For All, so again, it's pretty risky to tell out the secret to everyone, because Deku would be a target or a man wanted in Japan. And Endeavor brings up, you know, Death Arms, somebody that we met since chapter 1, that he retired 2 days ago. And he basically says that he tried his best, he continued to be a hero, but the criticisms was overwhelming. Even though he got 10 cheering people, one negative comment just made him go down. It ruined his self-esteem. He then says that I'm not a hero, I'm just a regular man trying to do his job, which he has a point. Horikoshi was spitting in this line. Like, you can have 10 cheering comments as a content creator, but that one negative comment will get to you. Death Arm's main role was to leak out any of the spies from the Paranormal Liberation Army, and not only that, it's like Best Jeanist said, that the last thread of hope is now weighing because some heroes are just hanging up their costumes because of the criticism from the public. So Dabi's whole exposure still has effect. It's not going away because Dabi did his damage, exposed Hawks and Endeavor, and slowly the public are starting to pick up the pieces on what's happening with One For All. And now if the public knew about One For All, they would go insane. You know how Endeavor got exposed by Dabi? Yeah, that but times 20. They would probably try to sell out Deku and give him to All For One so they could leave Japan alone. And like Mountain Lady said, that if All For One wants One For All, how come he just doesn't expose Deku to the public? How come he doesn't say like, hey, One For All is a thing and exists, and if you give me Deku, I'll leave y'all alone. All For One could do this, but he's not doing it right now, which is surprising. If he wants One For All, this is probably the easiest path for him to go to, but he's not exposing Deku to the public yet. Maybe this is a backup plan if he can't get Deku. Maybe if he decides like, yeah, I can't really get Deku like this, I'm going to expose him to the public, and the public's going to help me get Deku for myself. So it would make Deku be in some free-for-all situation. Endeavor furthers his statement and says, again, heroes and the police are just not enough, and he gets a text from Shoto, and I think this is technically the first time we see Shoto, or first time we actually get a mention of Shoto in this arc, since it's been a month and we haven't heard of him or Bakugo. So Shoto did try to call Endeavor, and Endeavor just says that Shoto, not right now. We did get to see the flashback with Shoto and Endeavor saying that they're going to take down Dabi together, but right now is not the time since they have no leads on the League of Villains and All For One. Hawks gets a call from All Might, and he then says that Midoriya was able to take out the second assassin set by All For One, and he defeated him immediately. And can I say this, even though Deku doesn't have rest, even though Deku isn't not getting rest, he looks pretty damn cool. He's able to hold the assassin up with Black Whip, and Deku looks like a menace. He looks like he's ready and looks like he had enough of All For One's game. All Might then tells Deku to be careful because he might be rigged with explosives, but Deku just doesn't say anything. He just runs away from All Might, but All Might says wait and gives him food, but Deku doesn't accept it this time. Deku looks like he isn't really there to have rest. He isn't there to be the guy who's gonna rest. He's there to take down All For One in Shigaraki right now. No rest is needed. And Deku just tells All Might slowly that you don't need to follow me around anymore. and he just says, nah, I'm fine. And All Might can't accept this because he's remembering what Sir Night Eye said. If he continues down this path, he's going to go through a gruesome death. And that's paralleling Deku because he's going down this path without rest or help. He doesn't want help from All Might because he feels like he can already move just like All Might in his prime. But All Might needs Deku, and Deku needs All Might. Deku needs somebody there to comfort to. He needs somebody there to be a father figure to. But this whole thing, this whole not having a rest thing is getting to Deku, and it's weighing on him. Deku's kind heart doesn't want All Might to get involved because he feels like All Might is going to get hurt. But it's also going to be a detriment to Deku because if he leaves All Might right now, that means All Might is free for villains to hurt him or kill him. And Deku just tells All Might with a worried look or with the sad eyes under his mask, don't worry about me. Which All Might should be worrying because Deku was going out all on his own and he's doing this without rest. All Might completely feels like that he never got the chance to tell him that it's okay to take a break, it's okay to rest, and that he needs to tell him this now. Because we know that All Might swore to Deku's mom that he'd protect him, and Deku's about to leave. And before All Might can say anything, Deku ignores him and heads out. And the person that was listening in on them was Stain. Stain was listening to them. So this might bring into the confrontation of Stain having that conversation with All Might. And maybe All Might will have to, fight Stain, but I doubt that. I think they're just gonna have a, little talk. I don't think Stain's gonna go for the kill yet. Illustration, it probably must be a civilian, and they say that he appears without making a sound. I heard that he has multiple quirks. Isn't that All For One's ability? Is he a normal or something? But apparently he's helping the heroes. Apparently he's covered in scars, blood, and mud, and he doesn't even look like a hero. And we see Deku's cool, how he's walking, and it looks like Deku is slowly not becoming a hero. He's slowly becoming somebody who just takes people down and just leaves, but is losing himself in the process. Now see how Deku becomes so cheery then after the whole war arc. It becomes so dark and brooding because of this whole All For One situation, and with Shigaraki. We probably won't get to see the same cheery Deku ever again, or as of right now, Deku's probably going to break at the end of this arc. But that's the end of the chapter. I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. It has been the Red Cloak. I'm happy about you guys. Peace out, and I'm out, guys. Peace.